Hey,
Yo.
what's up, guys? Sorry for that
What's
delay.
happening,
You were just talking about. Ooh, there's a little weird feedback. Did you guys hear that too?
A little crackle.
Little crackle. I didn't even smoke crack today. That's like a recurring theme on our podcast, apparently.
Only for you.
Yeah, for me. Metrii, you were talking about 8 Mile. That's what we were talking about before the podcast started. We were talking about 8 Mile, duct tape, and ego death. Actually, I put on that rap battle at the end the other day just for a little motivation, just because I was feeling myself. I was feeling like the money bag. I was like, yeah, I am white. I am a fucking bum.
Yeah.
I do live at a motel with my dog.
Boy, Future is an uncle, son.
I felt that in my soul. But
Do you really have an uncle named Tom?
yeah, I have an Uncle Tom.
Look at that.
But you said you get like you kind of. How'd you word it?
Again, what did I say?
You were like, I've been wanting to watch that movie, but
Yeah, I be fiending for 8 Mile
fiending
sometimes.
for it.
I be fiending for 8 Mile. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why that movie is so lit, but it was like a perfect prime time in our childhood where I was like, yo, this is the best movie ever. It wasn't, but I was like, this is the best.
Right.
How old were you when it came out?
Oh,
How,
man.
anybody know what year that came out? What was that, like 06?
Jamie.
Yep, that's why we needed Jamie. Anyone hire?
It'd be like
I need
03,
an intern.
04.
Yeah, it was early 2000s.
I was like 8 or 9 years
Right.
old. I think my mom took me.
I'll play Jamie real
I
quick.
want to guess, but I also don't like lying.
But so were you fiending for it because of the nostalgia, or is it
Yeah.
one of those movies that like pumps you up?
Yeah, like I mean, of course, everybody likes rap battles, and I don't know, it was just something about like the shitty culture that they had, bro. Like it was just terrible. Like they hated each other as friends, but they were best friends. They had like a gang enemy rival, and they were like. But Clarence was from like a private school. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It was just wild. It was just
His
a wild
parents
movie,
were in love and all that.
It
Right,
was
yeah.
November 6, 2002.
2002. Yeah, I
2002.
was
I was like
11.
I was,
11.
yeah, I was like 13.
Yeah, I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this shit is lit. This shit is lit.
That's still a good movie, though. It still pumps you up. So what are some other movies like that for you guys that you kind of watch for motivation? I know we were talking about creative funnels recently.
Remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans?
That's one of my favorite motivational movies. I remember freshman year in high school, I played football at Stafford, and we went 9-0 that season. We were the only undefeated team for at least a good chunk in Stafford, and there's South Stafford, and fucking last game of the season, fucking we didn't have to do none of that pregame running shit. We just fucking went into the fucking cafeteria, ate our game meal, watched Remember the Titans. The coach was like, now go out there and win. That's all we need. And we were like, fuck yeah. Won that last game. Fucking took it home 9-0. It was a good year.
Lifestyle.
So that's still, and you still hold that still one of your movies, maybe if you're chilling at your house by yourself on a
Fuck
weekend.
yeah, I watched that shit. I'm gonna name. I love that movie.
Get you pumped up before the big show, huh?
Fuck yeah.
What about you, Metrii?
I'm over here thinking like, what movie gets me hyped like that?
I am trying to think. 300 is probably one for
That's
me.
a good one.
I love that scene. I'll just pull up that scene when he meets with, I don't know who they are, but it's like the Spartans meet up with the other guys that are their allies. And he's like, I brought more
Arcadians.
Yeah, he's like, I brought more soldiers than you do. And he's like, what's your occupation? Blacksmith. And I'm a potter. Spartan, what is your occupation? Oh.
Right.
Like, this is
Fucking warriors.
yeah, man, that just gets me going. Like, all right, let's go.
I'm over here trying to think, yo. I watch a lot of wild ass movies, yo. Like, I don't know why Planet Terror keep popping up. There's nothing motivational about Quentin Tarantino. Planet Terror, but that's my shit, yo. Like,
That's
my movie.
man, yeah, that's a fun movie, man. That one's fun. Actually, is Planet Terror his? Because that's him and Richard Rodriguez, or
Yeah.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Because Tarantino does like it's the movie with the stuntman. with like he's like the killer stunt man, and then they also do that, and they have like the weird shit's still crackling in my ears. Is it my headphones? Maybe
Just heard it.
I hear the feedback.
we'll get over it. People get over it. We're not that important anyway. People already tuned out. They were like, "Oh, Scott's on." What do you like about Planet Terror? Sorry to cut you off.
It's literally like the most obnoxious zombie movie. Like, you know, in anime when like you get cut and the blood is all fake and it's splatters. That's Planet Terror to me, yo. I think I watched it one day just on my way to Radford to check them out to like for college.
Yeah.
And I watched that jump there and back. I just watched it all the way there and back, and I was like, I don't know why I like this movie so much, but it's just obnoxious, yo. Like, hilarious.
There's
yo.
something like the cheesiness about it
Yeah.
that you're appealed to.
Even like the speckles in the background of the film and everything. Like, I think in one scene, like it burnt up and it looked like a real film burning in the background. It was tough. Yeah.
I love the way Tarantino puts together a film. That guy's really smart. What?
Yeah, motherfucker.
What? Since you can't really think of like a motivational, I mean, I know it's one. You know, as an artist, you probably really like that movie because there's something about it, like the splatter and
Yeah.
it's not a regular horror movie. There's a certain artistic goofiness or
Right,
something to it
exactly.
to get away
It's
with.
almost like a satire of something.
Right. It's like a satire. Well, since you can't really think of a motivational movie, what's some of your favorite movies, or your
man.
favorite movie,
Yo.
your go-to? For me, it's Fear and Loathing. That's my go-to.
Dang, I still haven't seen that. That's Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, Johnny
I
Depp.
still haven't seen that.
Yep.
And it's on
Yeah,
Netflix. I'm gonna make
it's
sure I
a
look
good
that up.
one.
Yeah, and check out Ralph Steadman's art.
Word.
I'll send you some.
Word.
I'll send you
Word.
Ralph Steadman. Hunter S. Thompson was a journalist, and he also wrote like novels and stuff too. But
He also did a lot of drugs.
fuck ton of drugs, tremendous amount.
Word.
That's how the movie starts off, and how the book starts off is like they open up the trunk, and he's got this suitcase full of drugs. It's like full of rum and poppers and uppers and downers and laughers and screamers and all rounders, and ether and LSD and everything the fuck else.
Yeah.
But he had like this guy, Ralph Steadman, that would come with him and paint for his. He did like a lot of political articles. He did sports and politics articles mainly. But he had this guy, Ralph Steadman, come with him and paint for him. And the first time they got together, they went to the Kentucky Derby, and he gave him mescaline, which is like a derivative of peyote cactus. And whatever, they went to the Kentucky Derby back in like the 70s, and Hunter S. Thompson, instead of writing about the race, he wrote about it's called the Kentucky Derby is Decadent and Depraved. So he wrote about the people going to the race, you know, all the rich folks drinking their mint jubilees and shit.
Instead of the actual races.
Right. And, you know, Ralph Steadman was painting pictures of like fat cat people with like horse feed bags on their faces and shit. It's really interesting. I'll send you over some of his shit, man, but he's one of my favorites. All right, favorite movie. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Fear and Loathing, Ralph Steadman.
Damn, that's a good pick. I feel like it's a typical, like, stereotypical movie picks for me, but like my top three are The Wood, New Jack City, and How High. It's my top three movies. My top three
How High
movies.
is
Yeah.
one of my favorites too.
There was a movie that I recently saw on Netflix. I forgot what the name. It's like American something, but the whole premise is like there was a judge who made a very bad call maybe like 20 years ago. In so many words, a guy basically takes the judge, puts him into like some type of entrapment, and he sets it up to where we, as the American people with social media, judge on whether or not he should be prosecuted. And it was just like a crazy movie to mix something so political with exactly how we move in our times. Like, it was crazy how immediately everybody was sitting at cafes or doing whatever they were doing, and then boom, tuned in, went straight to the website just like anybody else does on Twitter, just like with anything. Like, it was a good movie, bro. It was a really good. I wish I remembered the name. But ever since I watched it, I just been ranting and raving about it. Every time somebody's like, oh, anybody got some suggestions on Netflix, I'll throw that joint out immediately.
What's it called? You can't remember the name.
It's like
Something
American something. Man, I'm gonna definitely send it to you when I get the chance. I'm
right.
gonna just peruse through Netflix tonight. But dang, I wish I remembered that name, man. It was a good movie though, man. Very good movie.
Everybody follow Metrii on Facebook, and he'll post that later and put out that. And then follow me on YouTube. We're about to start switching this podcast over to YouTube. We're getting done with this. All right, Mike, what's your favorite? This is apparently Scott's movie podcast today. Today on cinema.
Favorite movies? I like a little bit of everything. Like, I really like horror movies. I think like my favorite movie would probably be The Devil's Rejects. But I also like history, anything. Like I love anything that's informative. Um, I like watching documentaries and shit. Comedies, of course. I can also binge watch Rick and Morty.
Fear and Loathing was a movie for me that I like to watch. Tripping, and it's kind of like a typical trip movie like that. The Wall, Enter the Void. I'm sure there's some others I'm not thinking of. Heavy Metal, but I know that you like to trip sometimes and watch like weird or kind of like dark movies, not necessarily like the hunky dory Disney shit that people would watch. Kind of just to remind yourself that things aren't always puppy dogs and flowers.
Yeah, that too. Most people just can't fucking handle it. So it's like, since I don't mind watching stuff like that in general, it's just, and that too, and like sad music. People don't like listening to sad fucking music, but I resonate a lot with a lot of sad music, and that's the
Right.
music I like in general. So like, most of the time you gotta be alone to get through shit like that.
Yeah, it's true. But I feel like that can be a good strengthening tool for yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, especially because like I was telling you that one time, it's like if you always keep yourself in good vibes when the bad vibes come, you're not gonna know how to react to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're
Right.
in any kind of altered state,
Right.
like
Right.
being on drugs or some shit. Like, if you've never seen stuff that's horrible,
Right. Just kind of teaching yourself how to deal with a bad vibration.
yeah,
That's smart though.
it's like shit can just happen, man.
But it's like, you know, inserting yourself because inserting yourself into an uncomfortable situation to kind of make yourself comfortable in the long run.
Right.
That's something I've been trying to do recently.
Just helping you be comfortable in the discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. What
the
do you?
rawest way to make yourself a better person.
Mm-hmm.
The rawest.
Yeah. Do you do anything to do that?
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Just with like the way my business is in general, I'm always having to step into places where I've never been, talk to people I've never talked before. Like I'm a salesman, so to speak. So every single day I got to do something. Whether it's example, when I left DC around 2016, I believe. In DC, I would have the balls to just go to the street and sell artwork. You know, I could just go out there, no vendor's license, no nothing. Depending on what area it was, I had no fear, period. When I came to Virginia, I tried it. And a lady outside, well, I was in front of a lady's business, and she basically was like, yeah, you fuck out of here, you can't do this.
Yeah.
And I tried it again somewhere else, and the police was like, yo, like, we're going to let you good. Like, you're good to go, but you cannot do this. And it kind of scared me a little bit. Like, for a while, it made me stop. Again, I moved back to DC at the beginning of last year, just for a brief little amount of time. And for a minute, I didn't want to step out into that lane anymore. I was too scared. But
Right.
when I finally did, I sold one of my big pieces immediately. And it was just like, at the end of the day, sometimes you got to take that risk. You got to step out.
What about you, Mike? And that kind of goes into business too. So what kind of things do you do to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to business? I know we were on the last podcast, we all talked about talking to people you wouldn't normally talk to and how that'll change your life.
I don't really know because, like, I don't have as far as like my business and what I do, I don't have a discomfort as
Right.
far as like going places and talking to people or anything.
Right.
It's not like that for me because I don't give a fuck. If you're a venue owner and you're willing to talk to me, like there's no like nerves to it. It's just kind of like, fuck yeah, like let's do this. Like,
Got you.
and just like rapping in general, like I just talk my shit anyway. So it's like you're gonna get this weird unfiltered version of me. So I have to be 100% myself when I show up to your door because there's not any time for you to last minute tell me I can't be myself, because then it's like, why did you hire me? Like,
Right,
you
right,
got
right.
you got to know that I'm unapologetically who I am. So
Yeah.
it makes things easy. I don't have a fucking image to uphold except
Right.
for myself. Like,
Right. That's something I've been kind of struggling with as a comedian because part of my brand is like my humor. And, when people meet a comedian, they're like, make me laugh. You know what I mean? And they expect a certain something out of me. And like,
welcome with a stick.
yeah, it's like, well, I got different gears, man. Like,
I want to be human.
yeah,
I want to be
yeah,
human for a
yeah.
minute.
Like,
That's like, I get the same with like the second the second you tell somebody or somebody tells somebody that you're a rapper, they'll be like rapper, and I'm like,
You go bust a freestyle though.
yeah, like
yeah,
it's like, fuck, man, come on. I'm just trying to be me right now, not that part of me. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's got to be a struggle having like two different views. Do you
well, it's
struggle
not even like two different views. It's just like
an
you
expectation?
do it all the time. Like if you're making music, you're like 100% submerged at some point in time throughout your day. You're doing music, so it's like a constant reoccurring thing. And sometimes it's like you just kind of like taking that like step back. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to do this part of me all the time. Like
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about the comedy thing, man. It's like I can't always be in like party mode.
True.
Guess what I do is like, you hear a lot of other.
Entertainer.
Yeah, it's a party trick. So it's like I can't be in. You've seen me at parties. You've literally been like, "Yo, why are you so fucking loud right now?" Like I'm just being me, man. But even right now, like I put up a little bit of a. I'm. All right, fuck my mic. I'm not that important. You guys do the show.
Try again.
Hello? Is it still crackling?
no, that thing's there.
Crunching like crazy. You heard that, right?
It's not crackling anymore?
It's got a little crackle too.
It's not
still.
crackling.
Panicking over here because that's what I've been trying to fix.
Yeah, it's still crackling a little bit.
I'm gonna fix it.
I wonder if it sounds like that on the Facebook feed.
Oh,
But it sucks too because when you meet other comedians, like I did a show this weekend and these guys came from out of town. They're from like Atlantic City in New York area. And they were like, just have fun talking about stage time and shit. And they were being cool and ready to cut up. But I just wasn't myself, man. I wasn't, the me that I am when we're at parties or the me that I am when I'm at home with my dog talking shit. And the me that I'm just having trouble like meshing the three or something, man. There's a certain part of me like that I put up that, I don't know, I'm trying to lose. And it's like, yeah, because I can't always be silly. Like, there has to be a time to be sincere. Like, right now. Like, I'm trying to have a conversation with y'all, not be like, this week on Scott Hours, this is fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that animated. Like, I can joke and shit and say funny shit, but I don't know. You guys don't ever struggle with that? With, like, I guess is it just me?
No, not at all. I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. Because I think where I relate is like with my artwork. People will see my artwork before they see me. I don't really have to speak to sell my artwork or to sell my agenda or whatever. But besides like the goofy posts on Facebook, my stories, people coming to see me personally, there is no, there wouldn't be any. What am I trying to say? Another face behind me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think as an artist, like you can get away with not showing your face and sell $1 million worth of artwork.
oh yeah.
Right.
Right.
So when it comes with, I think with the art game, like,
But
go ahead.
you host a lot of shows, though, too.
Right. Right. And like that's where the perception comes because people will be surprised at how I act at my art shows, and of course I'm acting how I would act if I was at a party of my own. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm hosting a party that's my own. So
Right.
I always try to keep my energy the exact way it always is. And people will be really surprised, like, oh shit, like he's cussing and stuff on stage and he has a cup in his hand. Like, damn, this is getting kind of grown. But you just be surprised because people will think like I guess a different connotation with the artwork. But one of my main things is like, yo, everybody's a person. Like whether it's your teacher, your barber, like your priest, your pastor, like motherfucker's a regular person, bro.
Right.
Probably
right,
rolls
right.
up his J just like I do when he get home.
Right. But I don't know. It's just like there's a time for like. I'm definitely not promoting take life like super fucking seriously, but it's like I have conversation mode, Scott, that I'm in like on the podcast, and that I'm hosting as
Right.
part of the fucking whole thing that I'm doing, and then there's like partying with our friends, Scott. You know what I mean?
You should just stop differentiating them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm just having trouble, like.
Cause that's not like that's the one thing with like my music. I don't have to differentiate the two.
Right.
Like it's just 100% me the whole time. I'm not going for any certain one thing. All I'm doing is just expressing myself and hoping people like to hear it. Like,
Yeah.
and if they don't, fuck them.
I guess
I'm
I'm
still
just
gonna make it. But like, it's no like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have to worry about rapport as far as my character. I know I'm okay.
Yeah. And I don't think that my character is bad. It's
I'm
just
not
like,
also trying to make people laugh. It's a little different.
yeah, it's different. But you've hosted shows and shit though too. Like, there's just a certain something you have to turn on, like an entertainer mode or something that you have to turn on. It's like
That's the only thing
I don't
in
fucking
that-
always want to be in this, dude. Can I
Right.
just chill? Like,
The only thing that I hate about that is having to turn on boss, like because when you're doing a show, if you're not fucking coordinated and everybody isn't like on the same goddamn page, it'll just be a mess.
Yeah, I know exactly. What
Like,
you mean.
especially if you got artists going up and you're not trying to, like a hip hop show, you want to have intermissions in it, but you don't want to have like long gaps. You don't want to have people waiting for hip hop because then they're
Right.
gonna go outside and then
Fuck around, not come back.
not come back. Like, you got to keep their attention hooked on the music
Right.
and the next artist. So you got to have people like on deck ready to go, like they're baseball in the batter's box. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it does get just frustrating as shit, especially when people can't fucking make it to shows or they don't come through on their end of the deal for the show. So you have to go into like that boss mode and be like, okay, if you're not gonna work, then you're not coming back, or you're not gonna get the opportunity again because we're trying to get something that's steady. Not you can't have a steady thing if you're, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're not consistent.
yeah.
Like, you're not gonna be able to do shows if you're not consistent with everything you're doing around it.
I
So
guess
it's like-
what my struggle is the struggle between like businessman and comedian, because I can be comedian all the fucking time, but there's just like a certain level that it's like, well, you have to be I can't just be fucking Mr. Comedy in the middle of trying to have a contract negotiation or I can crack a joke or two, right? But I just can't be my total fucking wild self like I would at a party.
That's what some people be expecting. Like, whether it's a business
Right,
transaction or a
right.
contract negotiation. Like,
Exactly.
okay, so you about to be funny, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I gotta learn to let that guard down when I'm around like other comedians, I think is what it is. Because I'm like kind of going to like half businessman, half comedy. You know, I want to cut up with the other comedians and just fucking be the guys. But then it's also like I'm trying to make this networking fucking connection too.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a weird world.
Well, that's why you just integrate them all at one.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just crazy.
You got me there.
I was really hoping you were going to say the usual thing when you say that. And that's crazy people don't know they're crazy, Scott.
That is a fact.
Because that's what I tell myself to help me sleep at night. So
Crazy people don't know they're crazy. Put that one in my back pocket.
Yeah.
put that one up. You're the money bag. What do you guys think about? One of my favorite quotes is, "Creativity is intelligence having fun." And I like to consider you guys creative geniuses. I mean, I'm really excited for this new song you're about to put out. We'll talk about that in a second. I've seen the art that you. Damn, son.
Where'd you find this?
The Empire. But so creativity is intelligence having fun. I like to consider you guys geniuses, But what do you think about the line between genius and madman? Genius and crazy?
I
Being
think,
crazy and being creative.
The consensus of how people feel about the person. You know, like in so many words, I feel like it's a fine line. Like I can either be mad or I can be a genius. But because some people's ideals aren't aligned with mine, I'm a madman. Or if these people think exactly the way I think, I'm a fucking genius.
So it's subjective. It's all about
Yeah.
perspective.
All perspective.
That's kind of how I feel too, man. But then you look at people like Tesla's one of my favorite people, and like he did a lot of things that were genius, but he also was madly in love with a pigeon.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to, or like we talked about on the last podcast, L. Ron Hubbard. You know, like
Right.
that guy is a creative fucking genius, madman. Like
Exactly.
you know what I
like-
mean? There's some weird
Set
shit.
up one of the greatest cults ever.
Yeah.
like, how? Still running and forming, like
You know,
Or
when fiction novelists found, I tell you.
literally a fiction novelist.
what about Elon Musk? I think he's just one weird thought away from being like, fuck it. And he's the
Right.
supervillain from James Bond.
I agree. I agree.
I don't-
100%.
I don't think he would go super.
I don't think he would either, but
It's
he's
like-
so
If anything, he'd be like Sting when he came back and beat the NWO. Elon was just like,
Best analogy, bro.
he would just like dip off into the shadows after the government fucked him, and then he would come down riding his fucking rocket. Like, I told you not to fuck with me.
Where is she?
Yeah.
my roommate is at home right now, like, fuck, yes, Mike, yes, I remember that. He had the baseball bat, the crow, yes.
The anti-hero.
Oh, fucking Sting, man. But when we were doing the roast battles at 4 Mile Fork Hard Times last year, I would watch like wrestling vignettes before each battle. So I'd go like watch highlights of Macho Man or watch highlights of fucking The Rock. The Rock was another really. I actually found out recently that he did stand up before he was wrestling.
What?
Yep. Between football and wrestling, it was like on a Steve Harvey motivational video. He said something about Dwayne Johnson doing stand up at the Showtime at the Apollo.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that, but it makes
Motherfucker did
sense
everything.
when you see him doing the wrestling. If you smell, he was really a good entertainer, man.
Yeah.
Right, best catchphrases.
Yeah.
Best.
But what I
Your booty poo candy ass. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Right. I don't know, but it sounds good. You
Yo.
jabroni.
right.
Saying that shit, my parents like, do you know what that shit mean? No, jabroni. Do you?
Suck it.
Yeah. Oh man, I wonder how many people in our generation got suspended from school,
Yo.
grounded,
I definitely
soap in
got
their
trouble,
mouth.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Good time.
Great times, Joe.
We had like a very unique time to come up in entertainment all across the board as far
In the
like
90s.
yeah, like just the music genres, the TV shows, like the overall entertainment. It was just a great fucking
I hear they're bringing back Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's gonna be for
And it's
adults.
supposed to be a yep.
and it's so
That's
great
crazy.
that they keep remaking all the shit.
Yeah, it is. They've been bringing back shows from like the 70s and stuff. They
Right.
did like All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx was on the Jeffersons. Thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I was saying like I would use those wrestlers as inspiration for my roast, but want to kind of like, what question do you guys want to talk about wrestling more, or do you want to talk about?
Go with the flow, man.
So those were some like outside inspirations that I was using for my comedy, right? And there's some other people outside of stand-up comedy that inspire my comedy. Like we were talking about Eminem earlier. Eminem, he's definitely the rap battle style is like roasting, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And actually a lot of my style came from roasting, and then I use it still in my comedy to roast myself or roast different concepts and ideas. So he's another influence on me.
Do yourself a favor. Next time you want to watch the battles, though, go back and watch the battle between Eminem and Juice from like 1998 in the Rap Olympics.
Okay.
It's like
Send that to me.
It's the actual like the real thing that he was doing that movie was based off, and it wasn't actually in 8 Mile or Detroit or whatever. It was in California.
Okay. Post that on your Facebook later and tag me in it. and then post your that movie suggestion on
Gotcha.
your Facebook later and tag me in it. And everybody follow Metrii and Mike on Facebook. Buy their merch. Buy his art. Because you're the money bag and he's the money bag. No, but what are some, like I was saying, Eminem was another one for me. Will Smith is another influence on me is comedically who isn't necessarily a stand-up comedian. So who are some people for you guys that aren't artists or rappers, poets, that are influences on you? I'll start with you, Metrii.
It's a damn good question, bro. I mean, it's crazy because The Rock was on for me too. That was besides Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was bad as hell. The Rock was he was shifty, yo. He was shifty as hell. Like he did a lot. You could tell he was a good actor or entertainer because he did I think he was a movie where he did. It was called Daddy's Girl or something like that.
The Rock?
Yeah, where he was like a football player that had to take care of his daughter that didn't know he had a daughter. Like, yeah, he was really good at switching genres. Same with what's my guy's name, yo? Well, to go off subject, another guy would be Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal was one of my favorite fucking comedians, hands down. Him and Paul Mooney, Dick Gregory. I would love the raunchiest comedians, but each one of those type of comedians always would like try to throw in the subliminal conspiracies and go check this out and dropping hints like that. And that made me run and go do those things. And I don't know, I went through an era where I was just really soaking up a lot of information, and I put that in my artwork. I put a lot of that in my artwork. Like you would see some paintings with the American flag with like the origin of how America became America in it. Like how some treaties were made, like the Treaty of Tripoli. I would put, just like the comedians where I would put those subliminals in my artwork.
I like that. Those were really three good names that you said too. What did you say?
Dick Gregory, Paul Mooney, and fucking Patrice O'Neal, man. That's my guy. Like, he's fucking obnoxious.
Mike and I were talking about Dick Gregory and Rick Rubin the other day. It's a good conversation that we had. Because I'm really a huge fan of Dick Gregory, and Mike knows a whole lot about Rick Rubin. We're both trivia fact geniuses. No, what it was
he didn't know who the fuck Dick Gregory is.
I didn't know who what.
And I didn't know who Rick Rubin is. And it's like two really influential people in
I was just going back and forth.
Our respective
Yeah, we were like, don't tell the others. I feel like I told you a painter though that you were like, I did not know about that.
Facts. Yo, like, as far as like...
Was it Dolly that I told you about?
No, it wasn't Dolly. It was somebody else.
Jackson Pollock?
Nah, you have to know Pollock. I forgot who it was.
Maybe I'm full of shit.
I know I put it in my phone, so it's in my notes.
Maybe it's just still Ralph Steadman. It's from the beginning of the podcast.
Damn, yeah.
I didn't tell Metrii nothing. Metrii already fucking knew.
Nah, but that goes into the whole money bag aspect, because, like, I probably didn't do half or a quarter as much research as the next artist. But I know I'm the shit. Like I've been drawing since I was fucking 5, and that shit was good. I remember when I was like 11, I showed everybody a picture of like Lloyd Banks that I drew, and everybody was like, "Yo, like that's too fucking good for an 11-year-old." So like the way I go with my artwork is I always take some time to learn, but at the same time, like I'm creating.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite cartoons? We'll get to you on your influence. What were some of your favorite cartoons growing up?
Ed, Edd n Eddy. Hands
Nettie.
down. Mike Lou and Nog. People don't even remember Mike Lou and Nog like talking about, but that joint was pretty good. I was a Beetleborg fan over Power Rangers for a little minute. But Animaniacs.
Animaniacs.
I used to like love any raunchy cartoon. Like Ed, Edd n Eddy was my favorite because that shit was obnoxious, bro.
Yeah.
I just would love obnoxious comedy, any type of cartoon, obnoxious comedians like Steve Stifler from American Pie, one of my favorite actors. All the time, just because of how fucking obnoxious he was, yo. Like, just have a taste for absurdity.
Okay. That makes sense because you like the Planet Terror movie, and you said Dick Gregory, Paul Mooney, and what was the third one?
Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal. How did I fucking forget Patrice O'Neal? That's who I need to go home and watch. That needs to be my next study
Fucking
session.
hilarious, bro.
I love
I know you love Patrice. Send me some of the videos you sent me before.
I just love. Just go watch random shit, bro.
Yo,
I'm telling
There
you,
was
it's
some
better
stuff you
that
sent me
way.
about him and like Ellen DeGeneres though.
Oh, that was just him talking shit on Ellen. Like, that's the thing I love about
Don't give a
Patrice.
fuck.
And any comedian that's like that. Like, I get all the political correct bullshit, but goddamn, like, you can't fucking censor people, especially when they're that fucking funny
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you
It's
listen
a
to
talent.
if you listen to Patrice O'Neal roast somebody and you're really offended by it, you need to just go check yourself. Like, for real.
Because it's almost a part of like,
He said what you was thinking.
yo, exactly. And then at the same time, like, how do you think of these shits? Like, how
Right.
the fuck, how are you that funny?
And that quick-witted.
Exactly.
Like, he is a fucking killer.
Like-
like, you ever seen him in, like, a panel circle thing?
Yo,
He-
that shit is bad.
He just starts getting them, yo.
He
Like,
is
you
quick
can
as
you
fuck.
can hop on Pandora and just type in Patrice O'Neal and they'll give you like a good 10, 15 minutes worth.
And I like
And I've seen his stand up and
yeah.
stuff, and I know
I
Patrice
also
O'Neal,
love
but I
it.
need to go rewatch.
anybody that talks shit, like, to the government and stuff like that.
Exactly.
He didn't.
Right.
He had no
Exactly.
boundaries. He did not give a shit.
That's why I keep trying to show you Bill Hicks, man. And if you don't know Bill Hicks, it seems like that's somebody you would like too. He's a little bit more in your face though, and that's how I've been lately. You said something about people trying to subliminally and kind of hint at stuff, and
Right.
you actually made a suggestion to me recently that I need to be more like pull back the veil, like, hey, I got this. If you listen, I got this thing over here you should check out, as opposed to like, you should kill pedophiles like I
Right.
do in my stand-up, because I come off like Alex Jones and people think I'm a fucking madman, and I'm not crazy, guys, I promise.
Just passionate about how you feel, yo. Just
Yeah,
passionate about how
sometimes I
you
get
feel.
too passionate. But I found out, after we had that conversation the next day, I tried to talk to my roommate, who's not really into like all these strange concepts and shit. But I was much more calm and I could convey everything that I wanted to say in a tone like this. And he was actually like willing to listen and was like, oh, I think I see some of the points that you have, as
Right.
opposed to when I was just like,
Right.
Another thing that you pointed out to me too was when I'm like that, is it's oppressive. That's the word that you used. It's oppressive. And
Yeah, because you're just in somebody's face and yelling at like nobody. I don't even care if your point is right. The second you like try to overpower somebody by making yourself big and yelling and asserting your voice, you just lost any bit of good ground that you had. You lost it all because they're not going to take you seriously
It's
after
all
that.
about
Right.
delivery.
right.
It's like you can't just and that too, and it's a defense thing. It's like, yo, you're not gonna come at me like this and think you're getting any inch of room here. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. You can go suck it, like, cause
That's so true. That's so true.
No, yeah, you're totally right. Fuck, where was I going with that? No, but I just can't be as in your face like when you're being oppressive like that. When my goal with my comedy and with the things that I want to talk about or the knowledge that I want to put on people is to wake them up to themselves and to, kill your masters and stop oppression. For me to come at you in an oppressive way,
Yeah.
defeats the purpose.
instantly, right?
It's like killing a killer. They're still a killer.
Yeah.
They're killing a killer.
Right. Yeah.
That's,
Killer.
That's the.
No, that's legit. Do you have to go?
Nah. So I got these alarms on my phone. Just randomly throughout the day. Like at 12:34, I have an alarm that tells me to pray for truth. At 3:33, I have an alarm that tells me that I'm abundance. At 7 o'clock, it's a reminder to be mindful. Just random.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
little shit.
he's got his motivational shit set up for himself.
That's
I
dope.
like it.
Cheat codes, bro. It's literally a cheat code. Like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That wasn't like one of the that wasn't one of the self-discipline things that I was learning. Like, but it's good for time management too, because
Facts.
and you can go, okay, now I can start this project, and I have this. I know that my next one is at this time, so I have this long to work on that.
Right.
And then I can go fucking free roam for a while.
It's crazy you said it because that's exactly how that schedule is. Like I literally have every hour allocated to something. I always wing it. I always end up going off scale. You know what I'm saying? But there's literally a schedule as far as like this is the time you create every day. This is the time you learn every day. This is the time you post every day.
Right.
This is the time you're gonna work out. This is the time you're gonna do this. So yeah, I mean it works. It works. But at the same time, like I'm an artist, so I'm creative anyway. I'm not gonna always stay in the guidelines of that, but it's easy
Right.
to keep me
It's
in line.
hard to manage ourselves.
Yeah, hell
It's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I suck at it. I just fucking
Yeah.
that too. And I got like fucking my attention span is
Mine too.
really bad. I'm all over the place. So like, I kind of ride better winging it. Like,
Yeah. It's like I've got so many ideas of things I want to do that aren't just comedy or different things that I'm working on, and it's so fucking spread out that it got to a point where it was like I lost track of some shit, or I'm just having a hard time keeping up with everything that I'm trying to do at once, or I think it just goes back to being like a little bit crazy when you're creative. I don't know, man. It's just we're too creative. I'm always thinking of the next thing.
Right.
Even while I'm in the middle of doing this, I'm like, all right, not this podcast, but you know what I'm saying? I'll be working on a task towards my goals, typing in from my notebook, putting shit into my laptop, but I'm thinking about what jokes am I going to do Wednesday night? What am I
Right.
going to write in this article for Hoodie Goodies? What's the next video content I can do with the dog? Like, what book should I start reading? Like, so I struggle with that too. And like I said, I think that goes back to being a little creative, genius, crazy, just a little
Exactly.
bit on that edge. We were talking about influences that aren't of our craft, Mike, before we went off on this tangent. I told you that I would get to you, and I didn't lie. So we were talking about wrestling. I said wrestling. You talked about The Rock, and we talked about Dick Gregory and Patrice O'Neal.
So I know Dick Gregory is the one who basically gave me the idea to pray for truth every day. Like, he was in one of his podcasts. He was like, if you pray for truth every day, watch what the fuck happened.
one of my favorite things. It was I was watching this thing. It was like Killer Mike and T.I. talking, and Killer Mike asked Dick Gregory, he was like, "So, what can we do to help make everything better?" And Dick Gregory's just like, "There's nothing you can do.
I knew exactly what you Nothing.
Nothing. It's already too far
Got
gone."
mad, yo.
Yeah. He's like, "Stop being stupid."
It's already fucked.
But for real, my mama was probably like one of the biggest influences in my whole life because
You cheated him and I just now. That's fucked up, man.
it's real.
Right.
It's fucking real because, like, I don't know, man. My mom raised four of us being a bus driver, and then she also raised other people's kids too. Like, each one of her kids at some point or another had friends that had to come live with us, and she was a single mom. So just like watching her, there wasn't no options. It was like she did what she had to do just to make sure we would eat. And a lot of the times, like, you never noticed it as a kid, but a lot of the times she would make us eat first and then just take whatever was left over after all the kids ate and shit. Right. So it's like seeing somebody that takes that kind of life and turns it into something that, like, she has and just raised everybody. And she still raises my nieces and nephews to this day, like some of them. And, like, I don't know, that in itself is motivation to be like, you ain't got shit to complain about. Like,
Right.
like she got left with 4 kids on her own. You got 2 dogs and you're crying. Like, your rent ain't shit, bro.
So her persistence, her grit, her toughness
Yeah.
motivates you. Okay. I
That
meant more
too, and,
creative influence, but I really like that. I mean, that's a great answer.
That's what's there. It's the overall influence.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's that
by any
drive
means,
that you watch that and you adapt that drive into what you're doing with your music and stuff.
By any means mentality.
Yep. And
That's hardcore. Shout out to your
that
mom.
too, and being herself. She is unapologetically herself. It's like, stay out of the way if she starts yelling. I love you, Mom, if you're watching. But other than that,
People who aren't musicians that
cartoons, man. Cartoons have influenced me a lot.
What's your favorite cartoon?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna take it all the way back, man. I'm a sucker for some old school Tom and Jerry.
That's
Like
good
you
call.
give me some of that
that's a
old
good
school
fucking
Looney
call.
Tunes
I love
in
old school Looney
general.
Tunes.
Like just the raw violence, like motherfuckers would just Bugs Bunny would blew up Elmer Fudd more times
Right.
than I can fucking count. Like I love that shit.
We could even be more broader too. I feel like calling cartoons when I ask you, what's your favorite animated shows?
Right.
Because we have anime too, which they don't really like being considered cartoons. And you got
Right.
Family Guy, and I love The Simpsons growing up.
Fuck yes.
I watched a lot of Simpsons
They
before
did
the movie.
Everything.
Before the movie came out, South Park. Those guys are really.
True. Yeah.
You remember the South Park episode where the Simpsons did it? Like
Yep.
no matter who was it? Was it,
was
Butters?
Butters, yeah.
No matter what he tried to do, the Simpsons did it already. He lost his
Simpsons
mind.
did it.
Um,
I love South Park too. I love
Yeah.
I love shows like that, like because it's the same thing
Push
as
the button.
they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There's not a subject that has been untouched by Family Guy
Yo.
or South Park or The Simpsons. Like they fucking go at everything.
Like the Kanye fish dicks episode.
Yeah.
Like the fuck. Anybody can get it, bro.
and they
Anybody
pissed a
can
lot
get
of
it.
people off too. Like people get
Oh, yeah.
legitimately angry with them, and they
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, let them get mad. It's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Like they went to the Oscars or the Golden Globes, what the fuck ever award show, in drag
Tripping
on
balls.
LSD, tripping fucking balls because they're cool like that.
Man,
It's
you
Seth
got-
MacFarlane, right?
No, it's Trey Parker.
Oh
and,
yeah, for South Park, you're right.
I always get their names mixed up. I think it's Matt Stone and Trey Parker. They also did Basketball too. That was a movie. It's a really popular movie. A lot of people don't know about that.
Basketball.
So stupid. You ever seen the old school South Park VHS tapes where they'll be like in a nursing home doing little skits in between each of the episodes? It is fucking great.
That's awesome. What are some other influences for you, Mike, that aren't cartoons or rappers? How about like artists or comedians? I know you like Dick Gregory too. What are some other creative influences that I'm just not thinking of right now? I'm pigeonholing too much because it's the three of us. I'm like comedians and artists.
How you guys feel about Jim Carrey?
Fucking love
Jim Carrey,
He's
yeah.
one of my
Fucking man, it's my favorite actor of all time.
That's a really good
He's
call.
definitely one of my favorites.
Because he's someone who's not necessarily a stand-up comedian, who's definitely a huge comedic influence
yeah.
on me. Oh my fucking god, dude!
right. Like
He's so intelligent too.
if there was like three people I could have a conversation with, he would definitely be one.
Fuck yes.
Like hands down.
Good answer.
Hell yeah.
I think that also he's someone that you could talk about. I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody, but that line between genius and madman,
I
man,
agree, bro.
He floats that edge.
I agree 100%.
But as a comedian and a little bit of a madman myself, I kind of get that, like, people expect a certain thing from him, and he just knows how to, like, turn it on at an instant and go into madman
Right.
mode and jump back into, like, it's like they tell you, it's okay to talk to yourself, but once you start answering back, and, like, me knowing that and being a hippie and, like, the world is but a stage, I'll have a dialogue with myself. Because I'm self-aware, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I'm just fucking with myself. I'm playing a game. Like, Scott, is that a really good idea? Like, well, probably not, dude. You shouldn't talk to yourself. Like, but I feel like he has some of the kind of the same thing. He just knows. I mean, Heath Ledger, they say that he kind of went crazy playing the Joker. That
Right.
people lose it sometimes getting into a role.
It's crazy you said it because there was a documentary called Jim and Andy.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
Right.
That was a good documentary, but it was like, he kind of lost himself in that character.
Right, as
like,
Andy
literally
Kaufman.
became Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, yeah. And he was the perfect for it anyway, because he's already got kind of that weird avant-garde fucking humor
Right.
where it's just a weirdness about
They
it.
say he has like where he lives, he has like a small little. I don't think the room's no bigger than like this much at the table, but it's just a bunch of cushions, and he just goes in there and just meditates. So he's mindful all damn day because he's a very wise dude, yo.
Yeah.
He's an artist, yo. Y'all ever seen
paints
his
too,
artwork?
yep.
Yeah, that shit's dope.
I keep cutting you off, Mike. I'm going to ask you the question again, and I'm going to sit back. Influences that aren't rappers and aren't cartoons and aren't your mom. It's not the only thing your mom's good at.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, you're talking about my mom all the time, man.
I'm not saying, hey, man, for... I'm
Sorry.
doing this for your protection, all right?
We're actually also related in some weird way, so I didn't mean it.
I don't know, man. Most of my influences towards my life are some kind of music stuff. Like,
That's what I mean, though. Like, what are your musical influences outside of...
like Kurt Cobain's one of my all-time favorites, man. If you just listen to his interviews and the way he talked, or just like the shit they did, like when there's that one show in over in England where they have famous people come on and they do like a live performance, and fucking what they do is they just play a recorded track over dead instruments, so it looks like the artist is everything's done lip synced basically, and from all the instruments and everything. And fucking Nirvana was like, really? Like, you want us to do that? So like through the whole thing, they're just all like not even like just showing the whole world that this is fake, like, and they don't want to be a part of it. Or like fucking, or just shit like, I don't know. Kurt Cobain was a very interesting person.
Some interesting
Remember,
fucking
you
people.
you wore you were wearing the Nirvana shirt last time you were here, so I know it's definitely a big influence on you.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I mean, I was listening to a lot of his music yesterday. I put on the MTV Unplugged album. How about since you're saying it's mostly musical influences, what other musical influences for you that aren't, rappers?
There's a lot, man. Like, because I listen to so much, really, any music that's touched my soul in any point in time, like, or anything that's given me. Cause it's different when people are just doing. You can tell when people are doing random, dumbass music just for money.
Right.
Like, you can tell when there's something soulful, or somebody that's actually putting their self into their music, because you feel it different. You feel it's just different. And anybody that I listen to that does that, it's like the reason why I do my music the way I do, because I'd rather just give you my emotions and actually show you like the rawness to my psyche. It's not just like, it's got me in my party mode, it's got me in my like depressed and out mode. You get each spectrum of my emotion through everything. And it's not just like, because I didn't have that when I first started. When I first started, it was like, okay, we got like the basics of what sells in hip hop. Just go out there and start talking a bunch of random shit that you don't do, and hope somebody fucking picks it up. And then it's like, when you start listening to it, and you're like, God damn, I sound stupid as fuck saying all that shit. And like, I don't know. I don't really know.
Another thing I want to
What are some of your influences, Scott?
You're an influence on me, dude. I'm really excited for this song that you put out. I don't want to shove it in anybody's face, but I've been known about this song for a while that you're about to drop. You've been sharing lyrics with me. It's a really powerful song. It's about addiction. It's called Nightmare.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all? You guys want to talk about addiction? I don't know if you've ever sufferred from addiction, Metrii.
Yeah, we can talk about addiction.
Let's talk about what fueled that song. I mean, dark places fuel shit too. It's not all puppy dogs and kitty cats.
Facts.
Well, we won't talk about that, like that actual song, because I want people to get the I just want people to hear it for that first time and you'll get where it's coming from. After the song, you know what I'm saying?
It's very powerful.
So we're not gonna go like, but in my overall addiction, like any time in my life where something like crazy has happened, like once I found drugs anyway, like once you start finding that numbing agent, and then especially if you get in like a slump where just things just keep going wrong, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what you do, no matter what angle you come from, shit keeps going wrong. And half the time it's because of the drugs you're using that shit is going wrong. But you don't see it that way. All you see it is like, God, my fucking life. Like, why is everything so fucked up? And it's like you never think that it's because you're going out and getting a quarter of cocaine every Friday and now you don't have any fucking money, but you're still somehow affording to live, yet you're barely scraping by and you're just geeked out the whole fucking time. It's like you get kind of stuck in those little loops.
Yeah.
And you won't, and you know, it's a weird thing because it doesn't matter who tells you anything. It doesn't matter how many people try to help you or anything like that. It's a battle that has to be fought and won in your own brain. Like you can't, if you do, at the end of the day, if you don't want to fucking quit doing drugs, you're not going to quit doing drugs. Like it's just that simple. Motherfuckers can take you to 10 million rehabs, dump endless amounts of money into bettering you, but if you're never going to take that jump and better yourself, you're never going to get clean. And that's the other problem with the addict. An addict will get help 50 million times and still blame everybody else for the problem. Like it's the one.
It's an ugly place to be.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad
very
that
ugly.
neither one of us is there anymore. Well, I'm still an addict. I have other addictions. Have you ever suffered from addiction, Metrii?
Other than, I've been smoking pack since I was in high school. Other than that,
I wouldn't really call that an addiction, but it definitely is. You can definitely form a habit.
I don't want to be like, ugh, no.
Yeah,
But,
anything in excess.
Anything you can get addicted to, or it's a stimulant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like soda. That's probably one of my worst ones right now.
Word.
And
Yeah, because you
I
quit smoking
I
cigarettes.
just quit smoking cigarettes. We just made it past week 1. No nicotine.
How's it feeling?
Good shit, man.
It feels good, man. You know, the best part about it is like them bong hits don't hurt first thing in the morning anymore. Like after, and it's only been 1 week. Only been 1 week, and I already feel like I got clear.
Fresh lungs.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
because I was a 2-pack a day smoker, man. Like so, it's like
Yeah, I'm bad too.
yeah, it's a lot of. You don't realize how much that puts on your breathing. Sorry, but
You got to roll out soon.
I'm gonna sodas next after I make sure I get the cigarettes completely out of the way, which I'm pretty confident. I feel great like this time. It was weird too. Like part of it was mushrooms. The other part of it, I don't know. One of my friends, we were all tripping the other morning, and there was like 4 of us or 3 of us smoking a cigarette, and internal dynamics goes, you guys and your damn cancer. Like, this is a dude that doesn't smoke, yet he's being forced to socialize and breathe in all of our fucking secondhand smoke. And it's like, it's one thing to kill yourself. You know what I mean? If you're going to slowly kill yourself, go right ahead. That's what you want to do, whatever. But it's like, if you actually look at it, you're affecting everyone around you that comes in contact with that secondhand smoke. It's like, it's different if it's weed. If somebody's in a rotation with weed with you, they chose to be there. So like, if that smoke kills them, is whatever. But like smoking a cigarette and blowing it in, like unconsciously blowing it in somebody's face, I don't know, and it made me feel real bad. And when I left that day, I was like, all right, fuck it. Now's the time. Because I quit before, and some shit happened, broke up with an ex, and then I started smoking again. So that was another part of it. I was like, you remember why you started smoking again in the first place after you had it gone for 2 years? Like,
So next week we're on with Pete. You and I, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, and we can talk about some of the more reasons why you like to quit smoking. Pete Consiglia. Metrii, you said you got to go in a little bit, so let me ask you about 3 quick things. I mean, however long you have to answer. We're talking about motivation and influence. So I want to talk about you. You used to skateboard and run around with skateboarders and shit, right? You used to play basketball, right? You thought you were going to the league. So I'd like you to talk about taking that mentality from that grind, that practice, workout, grind from basketball, and also basketball culture and everything that comes with that. That's in locker room culture, hanging with the guys, brotherhood. How do you apply that to your art? And then also, I know that you want to talk about Spotsy High School fundraiser before you get out of here. So, I also wanted to hear what you had to say about passing the buck, about people passing the buck to you, and you passing the buck to other people, as whether it's giving it back to the people that gave it to you or giving it to the next artist.
That's a damn good question. So I remember my sophomore year, I literally thought I was gonna go to the NBA. I was dunking when I was like 5'8", and like to me that's short. Yeah. But like for an athlete, like that's like, damn, you dunking at that short. So, like the coaches were saying how good of a basketball player I was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My sophomore year, I was supposed to get bumped up to varsity, but we had a different coach. So me and that coach didn't get along from the first day. Long story short, he had said something that pissed me off. I was trying to be flashy on the court, and he had said something that just made me mad. So I kind of like threw the ball at him. He kicked me off the team, and I didn't make the team my sophomore year. I remember vividly, like every day I would wake up around like 6 o'clock in the morning over the summertime, or if it was the weekend and we didn't have school, I would literally be outside all day working on my left hand. All day, whether I'm shooting, going up for layups, trying to dunk. I literally worked on my left hand all summer to the point where I can go anywhere I wanted, and I could shoot with my left hand. I could dribble with my left hand. And I remember that was one of the things that coach had said to me. But just the grind that was applied off of being denied something that I knew that I was supposed to get because I thought I was that good, it put me in overdrive. And I had to relearn that with my artwork, because it would get to a point where somebody would be like, yo, I want that piece of artwork. How much does it cost? And I'll give them a cost. And all right, bet. Go ahead, whip that up for me. I'll buy that in a month. And I'll finish it. And it's like, yeah, I kind of changed my mind, or I don't, I don't have the bread to buy it or anything. But that would kind of make me go in overdrive to the point where I'm creating for myself again. And that's something that I had to relearn from basketball, because it was like, I know I can go down and get gritty with it. I know if it comes to the point where I know without a doubt I have to do this, I can do it. I just have to get it to the point where it's a norm. And that's kind of what I'm doing with my artwork, in so many words. Like, I know that working on my left hand all day is going to take me to the league. So why am I not working on my left hand, or painting, or learning how to paint, or watching Bob Ross every day?
Do you paint with your left hand?
Nah, I don't. That's crazy you ask. It's crazy you ask. I'm going to start practicing. That? I have. And it's not as good. I used to teach at Wine and Design, so you had to instruct the class. And I would paint with my left hand sometimes, but it would literally be like the most rudimentary stuff, bro. The most rudimentary stuff.
I'm surprised you never literally applied just that practice from basketball.
That's crazy you said that.
Basketball is such a meditative thing, too. I told my buddy who's not really big into meditation, I was like, just take your basketball, go down to the court, and shoot some
hoops. What, bro?
One-on-one. What's your sauce?
Let you make 3 shots in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
meditation.
Hell yeah. And then to answer your second question.
Yeah, passing the buck in Spotsy High. This fundraiser you're doing.
So,
do you have to go? You in a rush? Okay.
So, I moved from Stafford to Spotsy my freshman year of high school, and it was a culture shock for me. A whole bunch of camouflage, pretty white girls. I just wasn't accustomed to that. I moved from DC to Stafford, and the Stafford area that I lived in was Old Forge. It was just a lot of us. So going out to Spotsy was a culture shock. But I enjoyed my fucking self in high school, bruh. Like, I had a great time. Like, it was just a good experience. It was a very good experience. So I got a call back after I started my business 2 years ago from my old teacher. She was like, I seen your Facebook, blah, blah, woo, woo. Like, Spotsy fucking sucks now. And I was like, okay, what you getting at? She was like, you think you could just do something? Like, you think you could just do something? And I was like, I can do a paint sip or something. She was like, well, how about we raise some funds for their prom? So I got with my teammates, and we basically just built an event to cater to the simple fact that the junior class needed to pay for prom for the seniors, and we were going to provide an event for them to do that. It was a success last year. We made $1,000 in cash donations and then about another $500 in just regular donations as far as like haircuts, prom dresses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's it. That was like my first immediate way of giving back. And plus it was at my alma mater, so it felt really, really good. And one thing I always wanted to do, like, if I would have saw a black dreadhead Bob Ross, I would have fuck basketball. I probably would have painted all my life. Like if I would have saw me in that
Right.
aspect, so that's what I'm trying to do.
So you're trying to show literal other black kids that it's not
And
just
not even that.
basketball rap.
Like say for instance, like superhero Static Shock is a lot of people's like incognito favorite superhero, and I only know that because of Twitter. But even a lot of white boys are like, yo, like he was cool as hell. He was cool. Like we're cool.
Yeah.
So anybody that's just like, yo, Meech talks shit. Like he cusses. He's also humble. He understands. He's metaphysical. He meditates. Blah blah blah. Whatever way you can, you know what I'm saying, transfer that energy with me. I want you to pick it up, and I'm gonna take you with me.
Yeah, I dig that.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't mean to pigeonhole you. I know you don't pigeonhole yourself, but I just feel sometimes in the black community, and hey, it happens in our community too, that
Right.
People want to pigeonhole us in different areas.
Right.
So it is nice to show them that this is an option too. Rapper isn't necessarily normally a fucking white people thing until
Right.
Eminem started showing people that, hey, this is something. And other people before him, but you
Right.
know what I'm saying.
Well, that too, and it's that whole stigma of where we come, like this place we come from. Everybody,
Yeah.
whether any of us like it or not, our whole entire basis of everything has been structured on race, and it's about tearing those things down and realizing that it doesn't matter if you're black or white. I look up to a lot of black people the same way I do
Yeah.
Right.
to white people, and I spread the same exact message to white people that I spread to black people and Latino people. Like
Right.
it's about breaking down that construct we were all
Exactly.
given.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm just waiting for Bob Ross family member to be like, why you keep on calling him your uncle? Why you keep doing that shit?
And it's a struggle.
You ain't got no choice.
Right.
I mean, he did have an afro. It makes
Hey,
sense.
yo, I be pulling that out every time, yo. I be like, hey, that brother was a brother.
It's hard with that too, with all that stigma and perception and stuff too, when we literally live in the crossroads of the Civil War. That's like the moniker of our fucking town.
Yeah.
Because we're 50 miles between D.C., the United States capital,
Yeah.
and Richmond, the southern capital.
Right.
And they tore through here a bunch of times, and
Literally just torn up and down.
yeah, it's still floating through here. There's
Yeah.
still a lot of hatred and shit and whatever misperception.
I like to think that, like, on the last note, I like to think that, like, the way the world looks like it's going into shit, we about to get a superhero. Like, we about to get a superpower show.
I'm waiting for DMX to
It
come
has
back
to be.
and say,
Yo, yo, DMX come back in a crack cape, yo, that should be lit. Should be lit.
Oh my god! All
Might
right,
make that
so
cartoon.
you were trying to promote this show, though, right? I didn't give you a chance to. Do
I'm
that?
not, but I was just so in so many words. Every donation helps, yo. Every single, whether it's $1, like I've been reaching out to all my classmates, like, yo, put $1 up. It was 320 of us in my graduation class. Like, put some fucking money up.
Yeah, dog.
It's for high school, man. Like, I have an opportunity to pour into the alma mater that I came from. So
That's good.
It's my job to literally
Yeah.
like door to door, like, yo, if you can. I was a student before. You were a student
dig
before.
it.
So if you can find the event on Facebook at Spotsylvania High School Prom Fundraiser, or you can just type in Vibes and Paint, or you can just go to Facebook and type in Metrii Nelson, Art by Meech, and you'll see the fundraiser everywhere, yo. Everywhere, whether it's the website, platform.
And you guys share movie recommendation, and then what was it you were supposed to share, Mike?
Oh,
There was a song you were supposed to, or the Patrice O'Neal. Post
Nah,
that.
you wanted me to share that, the juice battle. I'll send it.
Yes, the juice battle, and then I'll share your show, Metrii, and then I'll share also Mike's song when that comes out too.
hell yeah, man.
Metrii, thank you for coming. What was your 7 o'clock alarm for?
My 7 o'clock alarm was. I think I changed that one recently.
He said, "Be a better you, motherfucker."
My 7 o'clock alarm was mental, physical, and spiritual refinement.
That's the kind of motivational shit I need. I need like a Samuel L. Jackson plug that just tells me to do shit
Straight
all
up.
day. Like
Yeah,
it's just
that's
alarm
true.
goes on. Like wake up, motherfucker!
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Sitting on your ass
Time to
again.
roll a blunt.
You'd be
Fucking right.
surprised, yo. That shit helps.
Write that song, motherfucker.
Metrii Nelson, thank you for coming on again,
Appreciate y'all,
dude.
man. It's
We'll have
always
you
a
again.
Pleasure, bro. It's always a pleasure.
Do you want to drop your Facebook?
My man, yo,
Oh,
Sponsor High
nice.
School Fundraiser, February 8th.
Good shit.
Support them youth. Support the youth. It's free event, so if you want to pull up, pull up. It's just
Okay.
$25 to paint.
Okay. $25 to paint.
Hell
What's your social media for everybody?
Art by Meech. You can just literally type in Art by Meech, ARTBYMEECH. You'll find me on all social media platforms. Art by
Bet.
Meech.
There you go. Art by Meech. Thank you
Appreciate
for
y'all,
coming
man.
in, man.
Y'all
You have a
enjoy
good
y'all
night.
man. Y'all
You be
too.
safe.
Hell yeah.
Mike, you cool to stick around and talk? Because I wanted to ask you about the skater, about...
Hell yeah.
Longboarding.
Yeah, like I picked it up 2 years ago, and then last year I was like, oh, everybody longboarding?
Yeah. So that's your new thing?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Mike, skateboard mentality, because not just like running around and having to keep up with the skateboarders as a bigger guy.
Nah, bro. Skateboarders look at the world in a completely different way than anybody else do. Like me and my boy Eric were talking about it the other day when we were standing up at the train tracks. It's like a normal person will look at this table and be like, "This is a table." A skater will look at this thing and be like, well, I can do this, 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 and this to this table. And if we set it like this, we can do this, this, and this. Or like, you just, anywhere they go, they see possibilities in things that you normally wouldn't, as a normal person walking around, wouldn't think about. And like, taking just that philosophy in life in general is a beautiful thing, because that's when the best creation comes, is just looking at things not in, you can't,
Changing the perspective.
yeah, that too. And fucking, it's skateboarding's another one of those things. It's like it crosses every community and every different,
Right. There's no barriers.
yeah, it's like music. It's
Yep.
like it can resonate with anybody.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
It's a really good, that too, and it's another one of those things. It's like it'll get you more set up for the actual real world in life, because it kind of translates to instruments too. It's like skateboarding's not something you can just like see a skateboard and hop on a skateboard and then you can skateboard.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's something you actually have to like put in time and work at and do things so over and over and over before you can even just ride around or do simple tricks and stuff. So it's like,
What's happening?
What happened, Eric?
I don't know, but I tried to say something and I'm in the background.
he got unplugged.
I'm nowhere. What the hell's happening?
Am I here? Here I am.
Yeah, there you are.
I was gonna say, otherwise you might shatter your femur and end up with rods and a bunch of pins in your
Fuck
hip
yourself up.
because you don't know what you're doing, but you
Yeah.
think you can bomb a hill, and
Right.
Is that what you did, Eric?
that's exactly what I did.
Is Kearns about to call in and tell us about it?
Oh God, I forgot that happened last.
Tell us how he could have fucked your sister after.
Oh man, he could have probably.
Did you listen to that podcast? Oh my God,
I
bro.
highly recommend everyone go back and listen to it.
Very funny. It was towards the end of our podcast. The only time that I came and hung out at your house, though, you showed me what's his name that films for.
My boy Patrick Brashroom. If you haven't, if you can look up his YouTube channel, it's actually Patrick Brass Drum, like DRUM. He does all the people in the skateboarding community in Fredericksburg. Like, we have one of the best in Virginia. Like, the owner Mark from Magic Bullet. He's probably responsible for some of my most deep friendships that I had.
Yeah.
Like growing up, like, because that's all we did was like eat, breathe, skate We skated everywhere. Like, we didn't need cars. We had skateboards or
Hell
bikes.
yeah.
It's like just that too. And it another thing I love about Patrick is he was one of those people that it's like we didn't have restrictions. We didn't have we're gonna stay in Fredericksburg. We would say we're going to Richmond for a day and just go. Like, we're still in high school and shit, so like we just go anywhere the fuck we wanted and make a road trip, or just like me and him. The first road trip I ever went on, one day we were just like, "Yo, we need to go on a road trip somewhere, and like a long one, and we'll take a few friends and then go." And like literally within like not even 6 months, spring came around and we were going up the fucking East Coast and around to Niagara Falls and back. So it was like, I don't know.
Nice.
It's just a different mentality of like get out there and do.
Yeah, in all aspects.
Yeah, everything.
And I feel like that really helps your mentality and your music too, because it just gives you a fuck it mentality. It's either it's
like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, it's
you're gonna
all
have to find a way home. Like,
yeah,
fuck it, find your way home. You know what I mean?
It's like Bonner going to jump those steps. What was it?
The Canadian Embassy.
How could people find that?
Just look up Brandon Bonner Canadian Embassy. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Or just Canadian Embassy Gap. Like, you'll find it. He's like the only person to ever do it.
But yeah, you're good friends with him, and I went to school with him. But using that as that, however many seconds it is, clip as an analogy or as a motivational tool for comedy or for music.
That motherfucker that day, he said he was gonna fly, and he went there and he did it in 2 tries. Like,
yeah,
and he said he was gonna do something, and he did it.
Yeah.
And if that's not motivation for anybody else to just do something, I don't know what is.
And the balls that it takes to do something that dangerous, man, and putting your fucking neck and your ass out there on the line like he did, and then
which if you don't know who I'm talking about, Brandon Bonner, he if you follow him on Instagram, it's at Bone Stallone. He posts skateboarding clips. Like, he's professional. He goes on tour with Natural Concepts skateboards and stuff, but he's sick.
Yeah.
And he's always posting new content, and just, I don't know, he keeps it wacky. He's a good dude.
That's one of those people. We were talking about local influence last time that I did not bring up, because he's definitely been an influence on me, watching him go balls to the walls with what he loves. He fucking loves skateboarding, and he's doing it.
And he's himself 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, unapologetically. And that's what I like. I just like people that are like that. Like, they are themselves 100% of the time. You don't have to worry about getting some fucking cheap fucking lie to your face, because you know they're always going to be 100% of them.
Right.
That.
No, I love people like that too. Some of my favorite people. You're pretty much like that with me all the time. That's why you're one of my best friends, because you check me on my bullshit, and you're not just a yes man, and you're just fucking yourself.
It comes
man.
through checking myself.
Yeah.
More times. I hate those moments.
Something I'm working on.
It's like, God damn it! Why'd you say that?
Where can everybody get one of those shirts from?
What shirts?
This duct tape shirt you're wearing.
Oh, you can get a shirt with duct tape on it. I'll make you one.
Mike's making duct tape shirts for $35 a piece.
Here.
Just let him know what color you want. $35 duct tape shirts. This is not a brand.
Not a brand. Or a work shirt.
Definitely not a work shirt. No, but and then we both forgot to talk about Monty too. That's another person that was a big local influence on me. Someone that's just always been doing their thing to the fullest and doing it as hard as they can. And when you see someone in your town doing that, it makes you want to fucking get off your ass and do it too. All right. What do you think, Mike? What do you want to do? This is the 3rd time you've been on the podcast.
Think. Whenever somebody asks me that question, what do I think? I always say a whole lot of nothing.
Until just now, why aren't you being your full unapologetic self?
Wait, what? I am being my full.
What was it? You said you wanted to talk about big boobs and their effect on the human
No,
consciousness.
I said, he asked what kind of topics, and I'm like, I'm not the host, Scott. You're the one with the direction here. And I said, we should talk about the effects of big tits on consciousness. Because they will fuck you up. I got that. I got that. Like, have you seen 3 from Hell yet?
No,
The newest Rob Zombie shit. There's a part where the dude's in the woods and it looks like you think they're about to get caught. This hunter guy, he's like, him and his wife are fucking holding the brother at gunpoint. And he's just like, all right, now calm down. I want you to calm down. He's like, I know that convict talk. Don't try to talk your way out of that. And he's like, all right. But can we at least just talk about tits for a minute? Like, and the guy's like, wait, what? And like, so he distracts him with the thought of tits. And then the dude ends up being so distracted, he gets his head blown off because he's not paying attention to what's happening around him. So it's like, and then the guy's like, so all you gotta do is mention tits one time.
Fucks the whole world up.
Fucks the whole world up.
It's like throwing a wrench in the fucking wood
it's
chipper.
like,
That's funny.
and it happens to girls and guys. It's not just a guy thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Girls look at boobs too.
hell yeah.
Girls look at asses. They look at our asses a lot.
They also be comparing boobs more than dudes.
Is that true?
I believe.
Is that true?
I believe so.
Is that true, Eric?
I think we just look and admire. We don't really need to compare. Because I'm the type that, like, I don't give a shit if they're fucked up looking titties. I don't give a fuck if they're perfect titties. I kind of want to see them all just out of curiosity.
Right, for science.
Like, yeah, science. Strictly science. That devolved quickly.
It did devolve very quickly. As I talked to you about the other thing that I asked Metrii about was passing the buck. And I think, no, actually, you know what? I wanted to keep going with you on the skateboard thing because you showed me Patrick's videos, and I feel like between his eye for like how to film a video, how to find a spot for the guys to skate, how skateboarders look at an environment and, you know, look at it from every perspective. How does that affect you with your music videos? With shooting your music videos and for creating that, because I know that you do a lot with creating your music videos.
That one's actually a hard one. So I have sometimes I have a hard time throwing the vision together, and it normally doesn't come to me until the last moment.
Right.
Because I don't have some crazy ass budget where I can just like make things the way I want them. So it's like perfect world, I could shoot big, extravagant, like movie-esque type stuff, or like just put bigger dynamics to it. But I don't know. A lot of it's just, I don't even know. It's a hard question to answer. Because it's difficult. Most of it's just like, film me talking shit here and here.
Right.
And then edit it together. Like this one, the new one, it's kind of got like a little like story and theme to it. And like it does have a start point and end point as far as like of a story through videography.
Right. And then I'm sure some scenes like cuts of you like rapping with a background or something, but for the most part it's like a story.
Yeah.
It's not footage of you rapping. I like that. I'm excited to see it. So do you want to talk more about that song? We were talking about Addiction earlier. You said you got the song coming out. What's it called? Where can people find it?
You'll be able to find it on all social media platforms. I'm gonna drop it straight to Facebook. I'm gonna drop it to YouTube. It'll be on my SoundCloud. All free. It'll be for free download on SoundCloud.
Fuck yeah. I'm excited for this one, dude. It's a really powerful song you put out, man. And
everybody that keeps telling me, I get a lot of people that tell me that I need to get all my shit on Spotify and try to monetize everything because I can get revenue from my streams and stuff. It's like my thing is I don't give two fucking shits about getting money or monetization off my music as far as like the actual product. I just want people to hear the shit. Like, if you're gonna pay me for something, pay me for coming out and doing a show. Pay me for my time and effort. But other than that, I just want people to listen and hear the music. That's the most important thing to me. So all you people that keep telling me I need to do something and change it up and start trying to collect these fucking ad revenue streams from all these different media sites, that's not my...
Where can they go and hear it again?
They can hear it on YouTube. You can download it for free on SoundCloud. That's my SoundCloud is Call Me Mike Willis. And then my YouTube is Mike Willis Man. And of course my Facebook is just Mike Willis, and I'll have the...
Is that correct on the screen there?
Yeah, but spaced out. Like, it's spaced in between when you spell it out.
All right. Like so?
Yep. That's how you find my SoundCloud. And then,
Eric, you the man, dude.
Yeah, fuck Jamie. We got Eric.
Fuck yeah, Eric. I was gonna tell you earlier too, man. Feel free to chime in more on the conversations and shit.
I try, but I'm juggling this thing over here.
Bro, yeah. So for those of y'all who don't know, we got Lil Man in the podcast studio. I think we're gonna bring him on to bring some Mousetrap here soon.
Yeah,
because he wanted to play some Mousetrap.
We'll get him in.
We're just gonna play some Mousetrap one day and say fuck it. We won't say that when the kid's in here, but
yeah, back to what I was saying though. Like that's I get everybody and the motivational words, and you want me to do things, but you got to remember that this is not your vision.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is what I want to do, and I really don't. I do not give a shit about money in this shit, man. Like, for me, payment, I would rather go to a show and do something that's meaningful and have one person in a crowd come up and to me and tell me that they resonated with me over the whole crowd just telling me they like my stuff. Like,
right.
That's my payment. I like connecting with people on that level because I'm an emotional motherfucker, and I like other people knowing that they're like, I like knowing that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And I like other people to know that they're not alone. That's why I tend to do more emotional music in itself, because
it's
just
real too. It's what's really on your mind.
And it's easier for it feels better for me. Like, and that's what I do it for. I don't give a fuck about these fucking the revenue for. Like I said, if you're gonna pay me to come do a show. That's where I want to make money off of it. I don't give a shit about ever being famous or any of that shit, man. I just want to have fun with it and do what I do.
Yeah, yeah. So go to Facebook Mike Willis and fucking book Mike Willis for a show.
Yeah.
And you can have his music for free. You know,
I'm cheap too. I'm cheap if you want to book me.
You slut. No, I was thinking about it. What is happening?
Oh, you're just playing. Oh, this right here is Internal Dynamics playing. No, that's one of my playlists though. But that's
I like that though.
That's Internal Dynamics. It's Hotel Hughes. I'm actually gonna use that beat on my next album.
I see what I did wrong.
Oh yeah, that's me. This is a song by me and Monty right here. Shout out Monty, Teasy McZaddy. The least conscious song.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this song is about how your emotions can be like a roller coaster.
All right, so maybe I'm not as good at being Jamie as
it's all right.
as I could be.
It's all right.
But the thing is, I was strategic about where can people find you, and then I put it on the screen. Like, that was the reason why I was asking.
Yeah.
But strategically, I was on the other computer pulling up the SoundCloud page so I could play some music.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, I'll definitely, if you'll allow me, when that song drops, after you drop the video, if you'll let me play the audio to start off my podcast.
Yeah, you can play any of my songs.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. It's all free, man.
And, you know, it's funny you brought that up because I was thinking about that today, too. I'm like, am I selling myself short by always putting my comedy out for free? Because will people come see me do jokes when I'm getting paid? Because why would you come see me do stand-up if you already can see most of my shit on YouTube or on Facebook? But then I started thinking about it. I started thinking the same way you did. I'm like, man, I want to give, maybe I'll never get wherever this person is in Australia or what the fuck ever, that, maybe they'll never get to see me do stand-up live. So I like being able to put it out online so that anybody can see me. You know what I mean?
And that too, my main thing is like, I just like making music. I like creation. The
I
art,
just like making people laugh.
the art of creation in itself, and it's like that for me is free. Like creation is free.
Yeah.
It's free for anybody. You don't have to have a college education to fucking create.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you can be a person that's zero education and still create something. Like, so like I'd rather just give that part of it away. Like if I'm like actually put me to work if you want. If you want to pay me, but
Pay Mike Willis and buy Meech's art.
yeah, I don't even give a fuck if you pay me because I'm gonna still make music.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I just love anything that I can sit there and vibe with. Like I love music that touches my soul, whether it's just instrumentals or just someone's lyrics or even a poem, like a powerful poem that touches my soul. That's what I live for, man. All the other shit is fucking. I can tell you right now, I can't. You can give me all the money in the world, and yeah, I might be able to fucking make my life more comfortable, but you're still not gonna fucking take away the bad parts of my brain.
Right, you're not gonna do me like Clockwork Orange.
You're never gonna be able to get the unhappy out of me because the unhappy doesn't come from material things. Like I already make great money, like. In my profession, it has nothing to do with that. I live a comfortable ass life, like, but you can't take the dark parts. You can't. Money doesn't take that shit out. That's why half the fucking famous people you fucking come in contact with are fucking all doped up on as many antidepressants as you could possibly do because they're surrounded by a bunch of fake ass people. Yes, men. People that lie to them. That's why I fucking hate when people, like the other day when you were talking about me not being fat or whatever, and I was like, don't fucking lie to me. Like, I don't like that. I don't need your, like.
Yeah, I know you said something about your mom having to feed all these kids earlier and still have food left over at the end of the night. And I'm like, fucking hell, dude. How did she have food?
So I was sneaking in. I was stealing every bit of food I could get. She fucked up and taught me how to make pancakes. She taught me how to make pancakes, and I would just eat boxes at a time.
Remember you said your mama told you closed mouth don't get fed. You
heard
fucked
it.
up many buffets because of that.
Yes, sir. You don't hold back.
Fucking love you, Mike Willis.
Fucking, but don't just yeah.
So I went to go see Grandpa the other day.
Oh yeah.
You're the only person that finds that joke funny. Apparently, it's only funny when we're on LSD walking from 7-Eleven to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep telling that Grandpa and dementia joke, and I just can't get a laugh out of anybody.
It's because people are like, God damn it, it's dark.
Yeah.
Some dark humor, people it just touches people funny.
Like Catholic priests.
Yeah, like.
No, but the joke for those of you who don't know is I went to go visit my grandpa the other day. He has dementia. Grandpa plays this funny prank every time I go to see him where he pretends he doesn't know who I am. Either Grandpa really has a dark sense of humor or Grandpa really doesn't know who I am. And I know I delivered it like shit just now, and I still I think it's the way I delivered it when we were hanging out that morning. It was so like deadpan, and like we were just straight up in the middle of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But
and we were already like in a dark humored sense of
and
talking,
altered state of consciousness.
Yeah.
But that's something else I wanted to talk about. I wish Metrii was still here too, because I'll pick his brain about it next time. But how about when I told you that I need to start going and visit Grandpa, you told me the same thing, that you had family you need to start visiting too. So what do you think about the importance of spending more time with our elders, man?
Well, I feel like it's spending the time with the right elders, because some of them motherfuckers can go get fucked.
Right.
To be honest. it's about it. I don't know. If it's somebody you love, you need to go spend as much quality time with them as you can. Like, everybody's got lives and stuff, but if it's somebody that you actually love and care about, yes, go spend as much time as you can, because you never know when this shit's over. Like, you don't know when your lights go out, you don't know when their lights go out. So, like, you might as well spend as much time making as many good memories as you can.
Yeah.
And even bad, even if they have to be bad, like if they're sick or something like that, or like you with your grandpa and he doesn't know who you are, like, it still gives you some sort of peace going to see him and interact with him.
Because he's still not alone. He doesn't know who I am, but that doesn't matter at this point. Somebody's there with him.
Yeah. But like, other than that, blood does not mean fucking family. It means absolutely nothing but you're related.
I'll cut you off quick as shit, dude.
Actions.
Yeah.
Actions is what creates family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not fucking just people saying they're related to you.
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand that. I got so many chunks of family that don't even associate with me just because I don't talk to my sperm donor. So it's like...
Right. Well, I have people in my family that don't really talk to me just because I speak a certain way. Just because I'm my fucking self. You know what I mean? Just because I curse and talk shit.
I had that too, and I can't stand when motherfuckers are like, why don't you ever come see me? It's like, I've only come to see you. When are you going to come see me?
That's
like,
true, too.
It's a two-way street.
2 ways.
Like, goddamn, we're all busy. We all live lives.
But,
no need to be mean.
Not just our elders and our family, though. And you're right about elders in general. It's about spending, we shouldn't go spend time with Nazis. Like,
no. Spend time with the people you love.
What about just
in general?
And since I've been going to spend time with Grandpa, I always find myself cutting up with the other people around him and shit too, with everybody there, because a lot of them are lonely, and not everybody's families are going to visit them as often or whatever. And so I've been trying to talk to everybody there, and I feel like once Grandpa passes away, I still want to make an effort to go there and do something to give back to them, or just show them some sort of attention, some sort of love.
Start doing comedy shows at the
I'd have to write cleaner jokes, but yeah.
Do it, fuck it.
Well, that's something I was thinking of talking to you about, and I want to talk to Metrii about too, was us collaborating to do a show somewhere. I want to do one to benefit the homeless shelter or to benefit the elderly. I don't know how to go about it, but I want to talk to you about going up there and playing music.
I don't know if my music
but
itself.
Not your music, but if we went up there and played guitar and sung,
I'd be down to do that. But like,
even if it was just for like a half hour.
I ain't trying to give no old people a heart attack when I get up there and I'm like, bitch, cunt.
No,
I don't even say those words. No, I know.
But if but I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
Trippy is all right.
Y'all want to take some acid?
Yeah. I posted about my grandpa's bad memory the other day, and someone was like, they've been doing studies on people with Alzheimer's and microdosing LSD, and I'm like, are you trying to get me in prison right now? I'm like, I would love to do that, but I'm not going to do that, because that's like a weird gray area, because like you don't, even if you knew what I was giving you, chances are you would tell me no, because of like your 60s, 70s mindset. And now have Alzheimer's, so your consent level isn't really there. Like, it's bad. Like
I tell you what, future permissions, if I ever get dementia, Alzheimer's, or even like stuck in a vegetative state. If I get stuck in a vegetative state and you motherfuckers don't pull the plug, I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life. But if you don't happen to pull the plug, fucking dump a whole vial down my throat and just see what happens. Like, because worst case, I'm not going to be able to move. So, like, I'm not going to fuck anything up. So, like, at least I might be able to spend the rest of my days in a different place other than a room staring at a wall.
Yeah, permission.
I think legit, I think you can will your life to like scientific research and experimental. You can specifically will your body for that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to donate my body for science, but specifically research into experimental drugs.
Yeah, psychedelics in the
Experimental
vegetative state.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right, extract my
We better
body.
start writing this will.
Yeah, let's go to see a
You
lawyer
just gotta
tomorrow.
find the study and be like, I donate my body to that study.
Right.
Right. Huh. I want my body to go back to the earth, though, man. I don't want no fucking box or nothing. I want the ash straight to the earth or my flesh straight to the earth. I worry about donating my body to science. They'll do some weird shit to steal my soul. We have no understanding of. But, no, that's about all I want to talk about. That elderly thing was the last thing I really wanted to talk about, just because since I've been spending more time with Grandpa, I feel guilty for not spending time with him sooner before he forgot who the fuck I am. And it's really my ego that gets bothered by that. It's like, I want him to know who. But last time I went to go see him last week, it ate me the fuck up. But this time I went in there like, he doesn't know who you are. It doesn't matter. Be whoever the fuck he wants you to be.
Right.
Make him smile. Be there with him.
Yeah,
Hang out with him. Sing a
Give
song.
companionship.
So yeah, I wanted to talk to you, see if you wanted to go up there one time with the acoustic guitar and sing the Ballad of Curtis Lowe and play the guitar for the old folks and just show them some love and some attention from people our generation and show that we give a shit about
No
them. you know
doubt.
what
We
I
can
mean?
mac on the grannies.
Dog, I'm telling you, there was a room full the other day. They were like mafia, and they pulled me into their round table.
Hell yeah.
And they were all trying to like shake my hand. They were like, the woman was like, "Smell my hand. It smells like Scott." And they're all shaking my hand. They're like, "I won't wash this hand for da da da." And I was like, "Well, I shook all your hands, so I'm definitely not washing my hand when I get home. I might do something else too." Old ladies, are horny as fuck. But no, yeah, and I want to encourage other people to spend time with their grandparents or their elders or just the fucking people you would normally talk to. You know what I mean? Like we talk about, because they have a lot of knowledge to pass, and not that we don't. You know what I mean? Not that we're inferior. I just feel like we don't give each other the credit enough. You know, they don't normally give us the credit because they count us off as fucking rude and in our phones, and we don't normally give them the credit because we think they're all senile or racist when they're not and we're not. So make an effort to go to their old folks home, see your grandpa, talk to the other people at the old folks home, whatever. Give back to the older people. Fucking okay, boomer.
Tell make sure you tell everybody you love them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And fuck the people you hate. Tell them you hate them too. Unapologetically.
Yeah, that's true.
Pastor Troy said it best. Yes, I am a hater.
Time is at 8
And
o'clock.
I hate
Mike.
you.
Another thing I want to talk about, but I don't want to get into, we'll get into it another time, is paying to play. And I wanted to talk about how, you know, you've traveled out to Denver and other places to go do, or you've gone to Colorado and other places to do rap, and I've took the Greyhound to places. So I want to talk to you about investing in yourself, paying to play, and that type of shit next time, and we'll talk to Metrii about that too.
Right.
And then you're going to be back on next week with my fellow comedian friend.
Conspiracy theories.
Yes, we're doing a conspiracy theory podcast. So
That's my favorite, guys.
yeah. So I'm gonna stand up and get really oppressive and yell, "Mike's gonna knock me out."
And then we're gonna make a bunch of money off of it on YouTube.
Yeah. It's
Did
gonna
I
be
say
great.
that?
Yeah. Also, go follow, subscribe, YouTube. Mike, how can people find you on social media? Mike Willis, get him on Instagram.
Mike Willis _ get him on Instagram, and then just Mike Willis on Facebook. It'll pop up. My SoundCloud as well. Call me Mike Willis in SoundCloud. YouTube, you go to my YouTube channel, is Mike Willis Man, all one word. And then, that's pretty much it. Come fuck with me, follow me.
And if you guys want one of them $40 shirts, just email me or message me on Facebook, and I'll make you one.
The duct tape
Yeah,
shirt.
we'll get you one of Mike's duct tape shirts. That'll be great. I'll let Mike wear it for a couple days so it gets fucking hydraulic grease on it. And
Hell
stuff.
yeah, you'll smell like diesel fuel.
Diesel fuel and bong rips.
Diesel fuel, bong rips, and broken dreams.
Oh, all right. That's we're calling it a podcast on that. You know where to follow me. Subscribe to the YouTube, motherfuckers. Have a good night.
Later, bitches.